everybody, welcome back to my channel. Camelia here. Welcome to Calcedonia Sewing, my YouTube channel. I am here today to share with you my review for the designer stitch Genevieve blouse. And also I am here to announce that you'll find a separate video with a sew along for this pattern, where I'm going to make this one. This one is just finished while I made that tutorial. But first things first, if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. That will help grow my channel, and I always love to read your comments in my videos or under my videos. It's really nice to hear from you, to hear your opinions, your thoughts on what I'm making. So please stop by and say hi. So really appreciating for you to be here, and I always enjoy to make new sewing friends. So with that being said, let me talk you a little bit through the new pattern from Designer Stitch. So you've been seeing these tops, this one and also this one. They're already a long time on Minerva. I got to pre-test this pattern from Designer Stitch, and now it's finally available on the market in the Designer Stitch shop. I'll put a link here in the description of the video. A few details about the top. As usual with the patterns from Designer Stitch, is coming with cup sizing, so it's much easier to make the size you need without making the full bust adjustment. And it's really important to measure yourself and to watch to read the size chart on the Designer Stitch web shop or on the pattern, and to choose your size accordingly. It's really important. You'll get a really nice fit if you choose the size, and if you are between sizes, trace between the sizes. Don't go with a size bigger or smaller, because you get much better results. I'm saying this every time when I'm talking about the Designer Stitch patterns. So the top in the front, it has of course the bust stars for a really nice fit. It has a pleat here, and I think this is the main detail, together with the plackets that they are crossing here at the center, and then they need to come exactly, this wrapping needs to come exactly in line with the pleat. The neckline is getting then finished with a piece of bias cut fabric, and of course I used the same fabric as my top. I just cut it on the bias and put it on. And in my sewing tutorial you'll see a little trick there on how to be sure that your bias binding by the end, when you get to stitch it on, is not going to get really small, so be sure to watch that. Also, I'm going to stop now. Don't forget to check the chapters in the sewing, in the sew along, because I'm going to put chapters in the video, so you are going to be able to skip where you need to go. For the sleeves, the pattern is coming with two options. One is a cuff with a little tie here that you can tie a little bow. You can make these ties longer, of course. I will make them really short, because then you have nothing to tie. And also another sleeve is a simple sleeve. It's just straight with a little hem, and then you have a small sleeve tab, let's say. I have here a little thread that I want to go open. Let me see. And so it's a normal sleeve. I did not even take the time to make it shorter, but it's just enough to have like a messy roll up. So these two options, they are in the pattern. Where is my tab? Okay, so and also in the sewing tutorial for the Genevieve top, I am also making, there is also a portion where I'm making a sample only for the cuff and the tie. Even if I made in my top the straight one, the rolled up one, I did make another sample and the tutorial for how to make the cuff and the tie, and I have there also some really cool tricks on how to make this slit really nice and very neat. So be sure to check that too, also in the sewing tutorial. Going here further with the back, the back of the pattern has a double yoke, and also in my sewing tutorial, I'm going to be annoying. In the sewing tutorial, I'm also showing two ways of sewing or finishing that shoulder seam with the second yoke. And in this one, the original pattern, it will have option for side pleats, like I have in this one. I hope you can see, or like I have in the cotton lawn one. Maybe you can see the pleats here. I think you can see them really well. But on this one, because I found the fabric really sweet and very romantic, I was thinking that some gathers are going to fit much better in this fabric. So I just, all the ease that it was made for the pleats here in the back, I just gathered it here at the center back, and I think it feels really nice. It's fitting really nice with this fabric. And also is a cutting line where you can put your pattern to have no gathers or pleats or anything. And of course the high-low hem. And I just want to mention that first time when I was making the tutorial for this, I was filming, I did not think about, and I just saw the side seams at the point before putting the sleeves. But then I realized that actually the hem here is coming in a really sharp point, and to be honest, it's quite impossible to sew that in the end, to make sew the side seams first, and then to make the hem like you usually do in a pattern. So the best and the easiest way is to make your hems separately, so the front and the back, and then just put them together, the side seam, and it will be really nice. In this one, I even made a small bar tack here at the point, to be sure that it's not going to I don't know, to get too much tension, but it's really not getting, because it's a really wide hem. You have no problems. So make the hems before and then put the side seams together. That is going to work really nice. As I said, the neckline is getting finished with a piece of bias cut fabric. Really nice also, and very clean finish, as you can see here. This is also something that I'm showing in the tutorial. Let's talk a little bit about the fabric choices for this pattern. This pattern, it works the best in very soft fabrics. So I have this one is made in rayon, woven rayon. As you can see, it moves really nice. It's very swishy. And of course it's working really nice also with this pleat in the front. This one is made in a crepe georgette. It's a polyester. It's also very flowy and very soft. I think you did see me wearing it in one of the previous videos. Very nice. And this one you can also, I'm going to find some pictures to put them somewhere. This is made in a Liberty cotton lawn. It's really, the fabric itself is really thin, but of course it has much more body than the crepe and the rayon. So depending on the look you are looking for, I think you can, I don't know, make your choices. Also, I saw it in a peach skin made and in satin also. What a little bit of advice, a little bit of tip for satin. Please be careful when you are making darts in satin. You really need to be careful that you are pressing them really well. Imagine all kind of drag lines here in satin. You'll see them 10 times better. And that is not a good look. Also, what did I see it in more? Of course, chiffon also is a really great choice, but then of course you have to be really careful on how you are interfacing pieces on your pattern, because chiffon is a little bit see-through, of course, and depending on that you'll have to think about it. Of course, as I said, the rayon, it was a lot chosen by the testers. Yeah, and all this kind of really soft fabrics. For the rest, I think after you make this front detail with the pleat, and the sleeves and the plackets, everything is going really easy. I mean, especially if you are making this version with rolled up cuffs, then it's really very fast sew after making the front details. But also for this one, in the sewing tutorial, I'm showing how to sew the cuffs in order to get this really nice starting point here and ending. As you can see here, I don't know if I can open this. And if you are not going to watch the tutorial, I'm going to give you a few tips on making this blouse. First of all, think about interfacing your plackets here. I don't want, why I want to say tablets, plackets. Think about interfacing the plackets. I interfaced both of them, and I'm doing that because this fabric, for example, and also this one is really soft and very flimsy, and I don't think I can get a really nice placket if I'm going to interface only the outside, let's say. So I interfaced both of them. It was really great, and you have really something with a little structure to work with. Something else, add a little bit of interfacing here at the V, where you need to cut in the corner, you know, in order to be able to go from here to here then with sewing the placket. So put a little bit of interfacing in these corners. That's going to help a lot. Be very careful when you are placing your plackets, in order to be sure that the corner of this placket that is coming over is going exactly in the point with the pleat. So take care there. In my sewing tutorial, I'm also showing that. It's a 1 second step, but it's very important. It's making a really big difference. For the neckline, as I said, my tip is when you cut your bias strip for the binding, cut the bias strip just 3 or 4 millimeters wider than what the pattern is saying. Why? Because when you are going to iron it, in order to press it double to start applying it, when you are going to iron, to press it, you are going to lose some 1 or 2 millimeters maybe, because of the stretch of the bias. So if you cut it a little bit wider, in the end you are going to get the right width for your bias binding. So keep that in mind. Again, I am showing that also in the sewing tutorial for the Genevieve top. For the cuffs, also another tip, and I think it's really important if you are making this one with the cuff and the little tie. I interfaced both cuffs only on the part that is the cuff and not on the ties. As you can see here, the ties are really soft, but the cuff does have a little bit of a structure, and that's really nice because you want to have a little bit of structure in the cuff, but the ties must be really soft in order to make the little bow. So a little bit of soft interfacing on both cuffs is working really great. And also another place where you want to have a little bit of interfacing is this little V here for the slit. I did go a little bit too wide here, but put a little bit of interfacing again in the sewing tutorial. You will see that a little bit of interfacing on the sleeve before you are sewing that V. And I also interfaced that little piece of let me see. I also interfaced this little triangle, or whatever shape it is, that is coming here, that is going to form the facing of that little slit, is also interfaced, as you see in the tutorial. So I think that's also helping to get a really nice and clean V here. And but interfacing the sleeve part where this is coming is very, very important in order to avoid something like you cannot see, but I had a mismatch here because I forgot to interface my sleeve, and in a fabric like this, if you cut to that point in order to be able to turn the facing, it's going to be always a disaster. So interface that. Yeah, as I said, the hem done before the side seams is very, very important, because otherwise you have a drama. And for the rest, just enjoy your blouse or your dress. As I said, it's also a version for a dress in the pattern, and I think it does have also pockets. I did not make yet a dress, but I did see some really cool versions of the testers. So I'm going to put a link here in the description of the video to the Designer Stitch blog, where are a presentation of all the testers, and there you can read also more about the sizing and about the fabrics they choose and the changes they made and all that. That's really nice. Designer Stitch, and every time when she's finishing a test, she's asking the testers to write a little bit about their what they made, about their garment, the fabric that they had, they used, and the changes and tips what they found really useful while making the garment, and also a bit of styling on how they are wearing their garments. So that's a really nice thing to read if you are interested to find some more details about the latest patterns from Designer Stitch. So this was what I had to say about the Genevieve blouse. I hope you like it. I'm really happy with all three of them, and I was thinking you can really see that I'm into blue and gray, because all these three are almost the same, but because the fabric is pretty different, they do feel quite different. Again, if you have questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Even if you don't have questions, I'll be happy to hear from you and to read your comments. I am really excited. My latest video about the serger and about the 5 most used functions of my serger, or the things that I'm doing mostly with my serger, that video did really, really well. And if you have any how should I say, recommendations, what you'd like to see more about the serger, I'll be really happy to make videos about. And I did not forget about the other video that I promised on the 5 presser fit I have from for my serger. I'm going to make that really, really soon. And also another sew along that I have in my head, and I'm really going to make that. I was waiting for some fabric, but in the end that will not arrive because the stock was low. I'm going to make a sew along for the Cherish wrap dress. I still need to make a review for that one. It's also a Designer Stitch pattern. It's a really gorgeous one. So I'm going to make also a sew along for that. It's a really nice and pretty easy to make, and I'm going to get to use my serger a lot for that one. So stay tuned, subscribe to my channel, then you have a notification when that is going to come up on the channel. So thank you so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to check out the sew along for the Genevieve top. I'm going to put links in the description and maybe somewhere here in the video if I have the place. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.